Hey everyone, it's TJ Power here, and in this video of Less Stress, More Happiness, we're going to be looking at understanding how our stress response actually works to give us the ability to create change. Throughout evolution, we developed an incredible system known as the sympathetic nervous system that generated a massive surge of energy in our body when our life was in some form of danger. This surge of energy was governed by the release of a stress chemical in our stomach called cortisol, and also the release of adrenaline. And when these products released, it would lead to our heart rate increasing, our blood pressure increasing, our respiratory system working faster. And this was basically mobilizing the energy to enable us to either fight the threat that was in front of us or to escape and run away. We then have another system called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the system that balances us back down and calms our body. This system activates when we're no longer in danger and allows our heart rate to slow back down, our blood pressure to reduce, our respiratory system gets back to a more rhythmic, calm breathing pattern, and that chemical cortisol and adrenaline, they begin to release from the body and no longer create that surge of activation. Now, this system was awesome when we were facing an acute stressor. So we were suddenly in a lot of danger, the sympathetic nervous system activated, increased our chance of survival, and then the parasympathetic activated to calm us back down when we weren't in that danger anymore. Now, the challenge is, in the modern world, the activation of our stress system is far more subtle. It may be worrying about something financially, it may be just the subtle consumption of fear in the media, it may be just a challenging conversation at work or at home. But this system will still activate in those challenging moments. But if we don't have an exercise or a practice or an understanding of something that can then activate that counter system, that parasympathetic nervous system, we begin to start to live in this state of over-arousal known as sympathetic overdrive. And when we're in that sympathetic overdrive, we can live slightly on edge, we can live with our heart rate slightly raised and this cortisol production being constantly released into our body. And when we're in this state of mind and we're effectively mobilizing our energy to survive our outer world, we have an adaptive mechanism to predict the worst out of any situation. Because if you imagine you're in a really dangerous situation, you're fighting for your survival back in time, your mind would be best off looking for all the potential possibilities and all the dangers that could happen to help you to survive that situation. But when we're in these situations where we're potentially just anxious or worried or stressed about something in our life and this system's really activating, we have a tendency to actually think in the most negative way possible and think what the worst situation could be. And that's not conducive to getting our mind back into a state of calm and getting ourselves back on a journey to feeling happy again. The great thing about understanding and becoming more aware of how our body works is it allows us to intentionally use different exercises that activate this parasympathetic nervous system and calm our body back down. We can use these exercises on a day-to-day basis or in the moments where we're just feeling particularly overwhelmed by our thinking. Mindful breathing exercises have been scientifically proven many times to reduce the amount of cortisol being produced in our body, and also as a fantastic treatment for anxiety and depression. The great thing about them is they do physiologically calm our system down and reduce these chemicals running around our body. But in the moments where we're particularly challenged by our thinking, they give us something else to place our attention on. And when placing our attention on something like our breathing for a period of time, we calm the system and we allow our mind to shift its attention away from the thoughts that are challenging us, and therefore reducing the amount of time we actually spend in these states each day. In the next video of Less Stress, More Happiness, I'm going to be performing one of these mindful breathing exercises so you guys can follow along with me and begin to learn how to use these skills in your life. So if you're in a particularly challenging moment and you can feel your system activating, you can feel your thinking going down a pathway that you don't really desire, you can use this skill to really calm your system down. Thank you so much for listening today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.